In this video, we'll be having a look at the different views that are shown in the display window. By default, Maximus has only 4 views activated: the input peaks of an individual band, the output peaks view, the gain envelope view, and the level markers. To activate a view, click on the corresponding view button. This view will show you the peak levels of the audio input. Keep in mind this is the input of the audio before being separated into the individual targets. This view is a great way to compare the input to the output. This view works much the same way as the main input peak view. However, only the peaks for the currently selected band will be displayed. This view is useful to get a better idea of where to set the threshold values to. This view, which is enabled by default, will show you the output peaks for the currently selected band. Again, useful for seeing the effects of the compression to the output. This view is much like the band peaks view. However, this view concentrates on displaying the currently selected band's peak levels as an envelope. This view gives you a good idea of the dynamic range for the selected band upon input. Perhaps the most important view, this view will show you the compression gain reduction over time, which gives you a first-hand look at how much reduction is being applied, as well as giving you a visual representation of the attack and release times of the compressor. This view will show you the gain envelopes of all the bands as opposed to only showing the envelope for the current band. Now, all the views that we've looked at so far require that you have selected the Monitor tab. By selecting the Bands window, you are accessing the display that will show you and allow you to edit the frequency range of each band. While editing these bands is a good idea to use the spectrogram. This will give you a better representation of where you wish to place the band's frequency range. Editing band separation can be done in one of 2 ways. The first way is while viewing the band's display, click and drag on the separation point. And while we are here, it is also possible to set the band's pre-compression gain by clicking and dragging up and down on the band. The second way to set a band separation is by using the low and high control knobs. Under these control knobs, you can also set the separation slope to either 12 or 24 dB. The final control is the low cut knob, which applies a cut to all frequencies below this set frequency. A good idea when adjusting the values is to be viewing the spectrogram while making your adjustments, to make sure that you're not cutting off too much of the low end. Lastly, as these envelopes and peaks are displayed over time, it may become useful to slow down this display. This can be done with the speed control. This control can be used to perhaps tweak your attack and release times more precisely. So now that we have a better idea of the different views in Maximus, in the next video, we'll be taking another look at the compressor to demonstrate some of the more advanced techniques that can be accomplished.